Today we have our mini core workout. It's mini because we are going to go through 2 circuits in just about 10, maybe 15 minutes. We are going to get a little warm up in and a stretch at the end of this. Our core, so we are going to be working our core is made up of our tummy, our abdominal muscles, our low back muscles, kind of low and even some of those mid back muscles, because these kind of fan out right here. So these are part of our core, the muscles that make up this spinal support right here. And our butt muscles, our gluteal muscles, those all make up our core muscles. So when we're doing a core workout, we are looking to strengthen every piece of the core because it all works together so much to help us move through daily life, even just sitting. So maybe not even just moving, but sitting more comfortably takes core strength. So we are going to do this today with we are going to be working for our glutes, strengthening, so our hips, strengthening those glutes will also help strengthen the low back. We're going to need our loop band for that. One of these, maybe even 2. Sometimes if one is not enough resistance, even if the other one is lighter, but you stack it on top, you can actually get a little bit more resistance from using like maybe a medium and light band can actually feel a little bit more than even that medium band itself. So as you feel like you're getting stronger, if you want to double up those bands, you can. Some of our exercises will be seated, so you'll need a comfortable chair to sit on. And then we are going to be doing a plank today. I'll walk you through both a high plank, arms extended, and a forearm plank, whatever version feels best for you. Both of these are fantastic, working the entire core system. So we're working the abs in a plank, we're working the back, we're working our butt in a plank position. So that's why those are always suggested, such good, well-rounded movements to do or exercises to do. So we are going to do a little bit of a warm-up just to really, especially get our hips warmed up today. So I'm going to have you just kind of stand on one leg a little bit here. So a little bit of balance. Balance work is actually core work. A strong core equals better balance. Better balance shows that we have a stronger core. So always feel free to hold on to something, maybe even as you go lightening your grip. But we are going to bend one knee a little bit, just swing the leg back and forth. As you swing that leg kick back, you feel it kind of lifts and engages those gluteal muscles a little bit. So we're just going to do about 8 of these swings on each side here. Good. Count it out. 8 for you. Go ahead, 8 swings on the other leg. Again, making sure we get a nice big swing back. Engage those gluteal muscles. Nice easy breath. As we warm it up, as we work out, we always want to make sure we're breathing through our movements. And then we're going to do some kind of hip swings here. We're going to bring up a high knee, roll it kind of back and wide. Let your foot come to the ground, sway it forward. We're just going to go 4 of these on each side. So I like to just focus one leg at a time here for our count of 4. One more for me right here, and then I'm going to switch to the other side. So again, a little bit of balance as we move through this. Feel free to hold on to something if needed. Lightening that grip, the more comfortable you get, the stronger your balance gets, the stronger your core gets. I'm not sure if that was 3 or 4. I'm going to take one more right here. Beautiful. Good. Even shake out those ankles a little bit right there. We want to make sure the legs feel nice and loose, ready to go to work. So let's go ahead. We are going to start with a standing kick, standing a lateral kick or side kick here. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take our band. We're going to bring it above the knees here. So another little trick too, as you feel that you get stronger. Best place to start is above the knees. Really putting those upper legs to work. They're going to help lift that band. But as you feel stronger, start to take that band a little bit lower, maybe just below the knees. When you're feeling really strong, even above the ankles. The further the band is away, the more it's going to take to open up those legs and get that side kick. So just a little progression when you're ready for it. So we're going to step into our band, bring it about an inch or 2 above the kneecap. We never want our band to be looping around the actual knee joint itself. We don't want to apply any pressure there. Again, this is going to take a little bit of balance here because we're going to focus 10 kicks on each side. So holding on to something, maybe even holding on to the back of the chair, we're going to put all of our weight into one leg. My foot is nice and flat, knee is bent. I'm going to keep my chest tall as we take the other leg, kicking wide to the side. Keeping that foot flat so it just returns nice and flat to the ground. We're going 10 of these. Count out your 10. Nice, easy breaths here. You got it. 10 on that side. Maybe just a little, I like to kind of walk it out here, a little walk in place. We lift the heels, bend the knees, that kind of just moves the muscles around, the hips around a little bit. Then we're gonna get set up, shifting all of our body weight onto the other leg. We've got 10 lateral kicks to the other side. Again, what's nice when you don't feel like you have super strong balance in one leg, if you hold yourself into that wall, because we want to try to keep our weight really nice and even. We don't want to be falling, we don't want that upper body falling over to the side as we kick. We want to try to keep our upper body weight really nice and even over the hips here, over the legs. So again, holding on to something might not help us keep our upper body nice and even as we move through kicks or any kind of these balance movements. Again, anytime we're balancing, even if just holding steady on one leg, we don't want to feel like we're tipping to one side. Again, that is, we're letting go with the core there. If we can kind of strengthen our core, stay nice and tall, we're doing some work on those muscles. All right, we're gonna leave that band around our knees. We're gonna come into some hip abductions here, really focusing on our strengthening those gluteal muscles that really support our hips here. Again, strong hips. Since this is all really intimately related with our core, we wanna make sure those hips are strong. Our butt's gonna be strong, it's gonna keep our back strong. We're gonna probably even feel some improvement in our posture when we're moving through these and strengthening up that back side. So I'm gonna sit at the front edge of my chair here. We're gonna bring the insides of our feet together, maybe touching, probably no more than a ½ inch of space between those toes. Band stays around the knees here. I'm gonna hinge forward here. So our hinge, creasing at the knees, not rounding through the back. If you ever feel like you're rounding through the back, back it off a little bit till you feel that you can keep your low back straight here. But that little bit of a hinge forward, just think shoulders slightly in front of your hips here. And it's only the knees we separate. Feel that stretch in the band, feel that resistance in the band. Bring it together, wide together. We're gonna go 15 of these. Gentle breath in and out. I'm sitting just on that front edge of my chair. Just a nice and controlled movement. Think about maybe it takes 3 seconds to open those knees, 3 seconds to close those knees. Moving with control is a huge benefit to building strength as well. We make those muscles work a little bit harder when we move a little bit slower. So just a little bonus perk building, again, just adding to the strength that we're building. Gentle breath, take it up to your count of 15. Once you're done, go ahead, sit up nice and tall. Take a deeper breath in. When you do, breathe it in through the nose. Feel your tummy fill with air. Exhale out through the mouth. Feel your tummy deflate here. So that's a nice deep breath. But then we're going to readjust our posture. Think about shoulders right over your hips. We are doing more hip abductions here. Every change that we have in our posture, in that upper body, is going to change the muscles that we are directly affecting in our butt, our hips, and even a little bit into that low back here. So this next move, we're gonna do the same movement with those knees going nice and wide, 3 seconds out, 3 seconds in, but this time we're holding nice and tall. Kind of visualize your spine being all the way nice and stretched out. It's long, it's tall. We've got, it's relieving any pressure off the discs here. Gentle breath. We're working through those 15 openings of the knees. Beautiful. Count out your 15. When you're ready, go ahead, bring those feet nice and flat again. Take that deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And now we've got one more adjustment of our upper body for our hip abductions here. Still remaining at that front edge of the chair. This time I'm leaning back a little bit, taking my shoulders just behind my hips. So again, shoulders in front of the hips, shoulders in line with the hips, shoulders behind the hips here. If you do start to run into the back of the chair, that's okay, but I encourage you to try to kind of brace through your tummy muscles here, those abdominals, to kind of keep yourself upright. You can always even hold on to the bottom of the chair here, just for that little extra support. We're back to only the knees opening for our count of 15. 3 seconds out, 3 seconds in. Gentle breath. get your 15 in there. Again, sit up nice and tall. Take that breath in and out. We are gonna step out of our band. We're gonna leave that right with the chair here. We might even get it out of the way. We're coming down to our plank here. So again, we're gonna start with our full plank. We're gonna start, then I'll show you your version of your, give you some tips and some pointers for the forearm plank. We'll start in that modified plank position. And again, I want you to kind of work through it, see what feels best for you. So we are coming down to the ground. We'll start hands and knees. So I'm gonna start modified plank first, just a quick little walk through here, and then we're gonna hold our favorite position for 30 seconds. So modified plank, we're on those knees, lift those feet off the ground. We really wanna focus on hips down here, squeeze those buns together. Arms nice and long, shoulders pressing back and down. So a couple of key triggers here. Glutes squeeze together, shoulders pressing back and down so your back side feels really nice and firm. Again, working those back muscles, working those butt muscles, that kind of helps lift the abdominals up. So every version of a plank, same thing. Squeeze those buns, shoulders back and down. If you're feeling good, that's super easy. We're up on those toes. Full plank here. I like, especially starting out in a full plank, feet a little bit wider than our body. The further our feet are apart, the further apart our feet are, we'll be able to get those hips low to that nice flat back. So give that a try. The closer our feet together, the stronger we need to be to hold that plank. So again, just work your way with your feet getting close together. Here with those wrists, same thing with that modified plank. We tend to think about when we get set up here, our wrists right under our shoulders. That might be too much for the wrist, so feel free, it's okay. Have those wrists just slightly in front of the shoulders and kind of dig fingertips into the mat right here. Forearm plank, if it does feel too much for the wrists, forearm plank could be a nice option as well. Again, feet wider than the body, shoulders pressing down and back, squeezing those glutes. I'm gonna hold my forearm plank for another 30 seconds. Hold with me here. Just take nice little sips of air. You've got this. Again, whichever version of plank works for you. You can even drop those knees halfway in between if it gets to be too much. Our goal is working up to 30 seconds. Even beyond this, up towards a minute plank. We're almost there. We've got 6 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Allow those knees to come down here. Maybe take a little stretch back. Take some breaths. We're slowly going to come up. We're going to take our seat back in the chair. We're going to go through a second circuit of our hip abductions, finishing out with our plank. So we're getting a second circuit in here. Second round of these sets of movements. Our hip abductions all the way through those 3 different versions of where our chest is placed. And then our finishing out with our plank. And we'll have a little stretch at the end. Again, getting in about 2 rounds of these, 4 or 5 times a week would be a fantastic start. As you have time, you can always add in a 3rd, maybe even 4th round if you've got maybe about 30 minutes to set aside. Again, getting a little bit more. These can also be fantastic to add on after a walk. All right, 15 hip abductions, second round. Here we are, chest forward, shoulders pressing back so we're firm through our core. Long, straight spine, toes close together, maybe even touching here. Just those knees pulling apart. About 3 seconds out, 3 seconds in. Count out your 15 here. When you're ready, come up, sit tall, take that nice cleansing breath in and out. Maybe readjust those shoulders. Again, we're sitting towards that edge of the chair, that front half of the chair. Second position, we think our shoulders over our hips here. Spine nice, long, and tall. Nothing else has moved or changed. We're going right back into abductions. Knees pulling wide. Gentle breath. This one really working that gluteus medius. Muscle structure right behind, right on the outer edge of our bottom. Really help support those hips, especially when we're walking or swinging our legs. Again, count out your 15 here. We're gonna make one more adjustment. I'm leaning back. Those shoulders kind of right behind the hips here. We're going last 15. Beautiful, get your 15. You can step out of the band. Before I take you down to the ground to finish out with that plank, let's take our hip stretch here. This is a fantastic one. Again, even just after a walk, you don't even have to be doing these exercises. Our figure 4 stretch is fantastic. We're opening up the hips, even a little bit into that low back, and then really, again, into those glutes here. So crisscross one leg over. I'm gonna stay at that front edge of the chair here, and we slowly just start to bring the chest forward towards the shin. Again, just this is our hinging movement. So I'm moving from my hips. I'm looking for 0 to very little rounding of the spine. So very little even of that low back. So I'm even kind of pushing my shoulders back and down to engage our lat muscles right along the spine here. That's helping to keep the back nice and strong. That way, again, a lot of times rounding through the back is putting pressure on the muscles on the discs. We don't get a lot of support when we're rounding through the back. So that's why we really try to avoid a lot of that extreme kind of rounding forward on the back. That can even create that little pinching of the discs, especially when we don't have the muscles to kind of support that. Holding that figure 4 for about 20 to 30 seconds. We're going to go into the other side now. So 20 to 30 seconds on each side is a good marker just to kind of ease into this. And again, we want to be breathing in and out. Good, just slowly coming up after about your 20 or 30 seconds into that. You can always keep practicing. That's a great one to do even after even just sitting all day. Again, we don't get a whole lot of opening up exercises or movements for our back until we really focus on it. So that little bit of movement that we can do even in that stretch can really help with kind of hip and back pain. All right, we're going last 30 seconds into that plank version. Whichever one you want to do, you can mix it up here. I'm going to come into my full plank. Again, I even like fingers wide, gripping fingertips into my mat here, and I even like to have my hands a little bit in front of my shoulders. Shoulders are pressing back, squeezing my butt, so it's a very active exercise here, very active movement. Even though we look like we're standing still, we've got so many muscles throughout our body, especially that core, working hard to hold us up here. Breathe it in nice and easy, in and out. We're gonna hold just about 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, drop to those knees. You might even send your kind of your hips back over your heels, a little stretch, reach those arms forward. Just let those wrists open up. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Awesome job through our mini core workout today. Again, doing about 2 rounds of these is a fantastic place to start building upon this. Adding another round or 2 for a total about 3 or 4, about 4 or 5 days a week would be a great goal to have. Even adding just a few of these on after you walk will really help kind of speed up the development of the core strength that you're looking for. So thank you for joining me. Have a great rest of your day.